Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. It is official. We have gotten the here we go from Fabrizio Romano. Florian Wirtz will sign for Liverpool. Total package, add-ons included, is around 150 million euros. That is the third most expensive signing in history. The club record fee that Liverpool has paid for a single player. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of hype. But quite frankly, I'm excited. I'm enthusiastic to see him sign for the Reds. It's something that we've all kind of been, expecting for some weeks now, for some time. Player side was agreed apparently 2 weeks ago, according to Fabrizio. And now the clubs have agreed a fee, and we're moving forward. We're set for a medical and a contract signing with Liverpool. We got the here we go. What do I think of it? Where's my head at? What does Liverpool do next? This is something that's coming right at the end of the first of the two transfer windows for this summer. There's one 10-day window, which is ending, I believe, today or tomorrow. I forget exactly when. But once that window is shut, there's going to be the Club World Cup, and then there's going to be a second transfer window. But this means Florian Wirtz will be a Liverpool player all the way through preseason. He'll get that whole betting in process with the club. He'll get all that experience. It really makes me question, what does Arne Slot see for Florian Wirtz? What does he see for the vision of the club? Obviously, at Bayer Leverkusen, he was more of an attacking mid. There's been talks of potentially Florian Wirtz plays as more of a false nine because he's been deployed in that kind of role occasionally for Bayer. Potentially he plays on that left-hand side where Luis Diaz plays in more of like an attacking mid role, similar with Salah on the right, and then, either Diaz or Gakpo through the middle. There's a lot to discuss. I think the main thing to really discuss is how this impacts, Szoboszlai's spot in the team. I think he's going to play a bit deeper in the squad, more of like a 6, like he does for Hungary. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below, because there's a lot really to discuss in terms of how he fits with the squad, where he'll play. Is it too much money? I think no. I mean, at 22 years old, Florian Wirtz is one of the premier top talents in world football, but he's still 22, which is not necessarily the, kind of total pinnacle of youth and potential in world football, but he seems like a player who's right at that precipice of, he has had an incredible youth development with Bayer Leverkusen. He's gone through the steps. He's won, an invincible Bundesliga with them. He won a Pokal with them. He, on top of that, has been the Bundesliga player of the season 2 years on the bounce. I think it's a fee that is quite honestly worth it at the end of the day, because you could go out and you could spend money on a lot of talent that isn't necessarily going to live up to 100 million plus contract. But Florian Wirtz, in the Bundesliga, he had double digits in goals and assists last season, and I believe the season before. And if you're kind of just stretching this fee across a 5-year window of him signing, which the deal will be 5 years until 2030, if my sources are correct, you're looking at a player who's going to contribute so much creativity from the center of the park, which is something that Liverpool has been missing for a very, very long time. Even Szoboszlai, who I rate a lot, is more of an industrious attacking mid and less of a forward passing kind of, classical 10 when you really think of it. If you look at his FBref stats, not to be super analytical here, but Florian Wirtz is towards the top percentile for just about everything. He's compared to the likes of Elise, Desiree Doué, Ryan Cherki, Lamine Yamal, Bukayo Saka. So he's in that upper echelon of attacking midfielder. that you just don't see every day and you can't get your hands on. We don't have that, and I think Arne Slot wants to play with that kind of player more and more, and to have a proper source of creativity through a central avenue. And I think he really checks off all the boxes, Florian Wirtz. I think the fee is something that rival fans and maybe even some Liverpool fans alike will be like, damn, is he really worth 150 mil? I mean, I've seen him play and I've been impressed thoroughly. I think it's probably a fair valuation, the 126 mil initial fee rising to 150 with add-ons. The add-ons are probably fairly attainable as well. It has to probably, I don't know exactly what the details are on those. We don't have any information on that yet. But, you know, comparing him to someone like Szoboszlai, who's been our 10 for the last season or so, Szoboszlai is, you know, progressive passing is in the 73rd percentile compared to Florian Wirtz is in the 93rd. So it's like a total shift up, a total ratchet up in terms of the creativity, the spark, all of that. I'm a little starstruck at the fee. I knew it was going to be over 100, but 150 total is like, wow, that's Coutinho money. So it's good to know Liverpool aren't afraid to spend money. Where does this leave Liverpool moving forward now that they've signed Frimpong, they're going to sign Wirtz, they're going to sign Kirkes? I think those are three very, very hyper-specific positions where we were lacking last season. Robertson, a bit off the pace, no offense to him, but he's aging. He played in the Jurgen Klopp side for like the better part of a decade. Trent left. We got Jeremie Frimpong, who is providing a lot of creativity down that right-hand side, is best friends with Florian Wirtz as well, and will probably play really well alongside, you know, some of his compatriots in Gakpo, Gravenberch, Virgil van Dijk. Florian Wirtz feels like the crown jewel of those three signings in terms of being the star boy, the wonder kid who is expected to take us up to that next level. I feel like a lot of the focus will be on him. But I don't think Liverpool's business is done quite yet. They've been linked to Ekitike. I don't think he will sign, but I think we'll get some other number 9 in. Maybe we don't. Maybe we're stuck with Jota and Nunez for the rest of this, upcoming campaign as well. But to my knowledge, Liverpool's looking to move on from them, bring in a forward, potentially bring in another winger. Who those guys are, I mean, it's hard to read Liverpool. You can never really tell with Michael Edwards or with FSG as a whole. They're usually pretty tight-lipped. Even with this transfer saga, we were getting updates, weeks and days after they really broke for the first time in the kind of beat writer circles of Liverpool. So it's interesting to see how it's all played out. I'm glad that Florian Wirtz is signed. Across 40 games last season, he had 16 goals, 13 assists. And, you could just expect that all in all, he'll probably continue to grow and continue to progress at Liverpool. Am I nervous that potentially he's going to be a flop? Not really, because for him to flop, it would take him just completely downturning and not being close to what he is at Bayer Leverkusen. So I don't know. I think he fits our system. He was going to go to Bayern Munich. He was set on that as the exit this summer until he met with Arne Slot, until there was a meeting. So in that meeting, he was explained to exactly like, hey, this is the vision for you coming into the club. This is how we see you developing. What I see for him in the future, I really don't know. It's hard to tell because Liverpool, quite frankly, always have a trick up their sleeve. Maybe he'll play as a false 9. Maybe he'll be the number 10. Maybe he'll play on the left channel. But we know for sure he's going to be in that starting 11. You don't spend that much money and just not play him, which is, something that when we were signing players under Klopp, Fabinho, for example, took a long time to get used to the style of play until he was bedded in. And then when he was bedded in, he was in there. He was locked in. But I think Florian Wirtz from the offset will 100% just be in the squad. It'll be interesting to see how it progresses. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this signing, what your feelings are about Florian Wirtz joining Liverpool, what your thoughts are on the fee, and what other business you think Liverpool will do for the rest of the summer. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like if you enjoyed. I'm Sideline Sato. Peace.